Exactly.
You know, Bill McKibben is a naturalist, and he took his children out to nature and to the forest. He wrote a book about it, and you know, for the first 3 days, they couldn't stand it. They'd been so used to video games and television and all this outside stuff that they were literally just as unhappy as he'd ever seen them. But on the fourth day, you know, they discovered some butterflies, and then some sunflowers, and then pretty soon they would get up as soon as the sun rose and run outside just to participate in the nature. And you know, so again, you know, we don't know what's been done to us, and frankly, what's been done to us is criminal. And I really don't have a problem even with maybe putting some of these people on trial. I think we need to scare the daylights out of them so that they never try to control us ever again. And so, you know, we're reaching this dynamic, and it's not going to change. It's going to come at us every day a little harder, a little faster. And right now they're trying to centralize power. They're trying to put everything into one big, huge basket so that this thing can't happen. So they must know that it's going to happen. And, you know, nobody was making any 2012 films. There was hardly any books out or anything. And when we made our first film in 2006, it was a huge hit, and everyone went to go see it. And then everybody, 2012 is just people, you know, money grubbers, you know, trying to make a profit off of this. And it's like, no, this 2012 thing did not come from above. It came from below. It came from the people. It did not come from Hollywood. Now Hollywood's jumped on board because they always jump on board and follow trends. But and that's why they hate Cameron, because Cameron doesn't pay any attention to trends or demographics. He makes films that he likes, films that he knows are going to hit us in our body spiritus. And that's why they hate him, because they're in Hollywood. They're all doing these we got to make sure that we've got, you know, 37% of the girls between 16 and 22 will like this film, and 14% of the guys that are between 25 and 40 will like, you know, they got all this stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to be making a good film here, and they don't know how to make a good film. And this is what's going on. This whole thing is collapsing right in front of us, and we need to A, cheer it on, and B, speed it up.
Of course. Yep.
When you
it is
say, I mean, this comes all part and parcel with the dominance of the patriarchal society that's, I mean, been around for, 5,000-6,000 years now.
Yep.
And, I mean, you can see it, right? And it's very evident in our society today. Like, how has this affected the masculine and feminine energy, and like, how do you feel we can achieve that yin and yang balance again?
Oh, I love that. I love that question. Yeah, well, first off, no matter how many weights a guy lifts, that doesn't make him a man, all right? And no matter how many steroids he takes, it doesn't make him a man. And so first off, we have to straighten out men. And women are next, but first men. Men have to realize what it's really like to be a man, which we don't know anymore. And what it's really like to be a man is, well, again, I have to go back to Lawler's anthropological studies, because honestly, Europeans have killed off everybody, and we don't have that many people left to study. So we have to go to wherever we can at this point. But what we
well, again, referring back to my native studies, my native teachings, to be a man was how to approach. It was how to approach the divine feminine with honor.
That's
and it's
right.
amazing.
That's what men, you got it. That's what men
alchemy.
are for.
Yeah.
Women control our evolution. Women are the strangest animal in the universe, in the known universe. They don't go into heat. They can have orgasms whether they're, you know, in heat or not. They can have as many children as they want. They don't have to wait for a certain time of the month or the year to have children. They can have children and having one right after another. And this has come about because for thousands and thousands of years, man, he didn't serve woman, but he was the helper and the the power behind the woman's intuitive spiritual dynamic that was allowing her to change the species, if you will, which she did. And we rose up out of animalhood, and I love animals. I believe animals are just as equal. But what the thing that human beings have is we we stand upright, and our spine is attenuated to the electrogeomagnetic field force of the earth, which comes down directly from above. And so when you stand upright, your pineal gland it falls right into the full force, the full 90-degree force of these higher dimensional energy waves. And when we stood upright, we became something so different from anything else that the entire universe and all the light beings and the angels and everything took notice, and they came here to see what was happening. And so we are this incredibly special species which has a mission and a destiny. And we've been invaded by another group of humans who don't want us to achieve that destiny, and for whatever reasons. And we don't need to fight them or to hate them. We need to ignore them. And if they get in our face,
exactly,
we need to get back in their face, to be honest with you. Which is another thing that men are supposed to do, is to protect their families from outside aggression. And you have to do it. You can do it in many, many ways. You don't have to be violent. In tantric India, the tantric couples would interact and create this huge dynamic field at which they could actually hide their village, completely hide it, make it invisible from marauders and armies and things. And we have that power. We have amazing powers. And this force, this group, I don't know who they are exactly, I got a pretty good idea. They have done everything they can to destroy our own innate abilities. And this starts all the way back with our very first myth of the Garden of Eden, where we're forbidden to eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge by Jehovah, who is a big, tall, Aryan slave master, sorry to say, and we've fallen for this idea that we are not good enough to be in the garden, that we're not good enough to eat of the tree of knowledge, and once
we're not worthy, we don't deserve it.
We got to quit believing what our slave masters have told us. The
height of arrogance is the height of control, and the control has been the very thing that has held us all back as a species.
It is, and that's ending now. It's over, and we don't have much time. This is another thing I need to address. These windows only happen periodically, and so you'll have a psychic window will open, and all of a sudden all this stuff comes in, and then it closes. I mean, it's not like it's open forever. You have a period of time where all of a sudden all this stuff seems so obvious, and then it drifts away back into whatever thing happens after the opening. And so this opening is a short-lived thing. It probably will be over by 2016, 2020, something like that. When you couple that with the internet, with radio shows that are like this, where you can just get on and not be censored like it used to be in my old days, where everybody censored me and tried to get me off the air, and I was told by radio stations, you're never coming on this show again, you're radical. And so now it's opening, and we're being able to say what we want to say, and we need to take advantage of this opening and just get the word out in all directions. We should be spending our entire lives doing nothing but this. This is all there is. And in 2030 or so, maybe when we're all gone, and the next generation is here, we will have manifested a different reality, and will have hopefully freed them from the mental slavery that this current world has put us under for 6,000 years now.